Hi, New Jersey Forensic Accountant here. Today we're going to talk about estate fraud, which affects everybody at some point in their life. We have tremendous experience in dealing with estate fraud because it's so prevalent out there. And the reason is that when you have executors or executrix or beneficiaries, sometimes disputes occur. And we have a methodology that we've employed where we can resolve these pretty quickly. I mean, instead of 5 years, 6, 7 months. And we have a lot of cases come to us that have been bouncing around for years and years, and we get involved and things move pretty quickly because of the methodology we employ. The most important thing, if you're involved in an estate as a beneficiary or executors, you have a good forensic accountant, you have a good lawyer, and you make sure that there's a lot of communication, and that communication breakdown is where the big problems happen. But today we're going to talk about some of the red flags you'll see, sudden change of estate plans, and when you are involved, like I said, in any way in an estate, anyway, beneficiary, executor, executrix, if you follow these red flags, you'll see there's a problem and get involved. Sudden changes in the estate plan. Missing or altered estate planning documents. The will, there's 5 wills. We've seen that. They're constantly being changed. A lot of times, there's dementia involved or something like that with the person who, it's their estate, and disputes over asset valuations. Maybe there's a business involved. Suspicious delays in probate. Unexplained depletion of assets. Now, if you see any of this, you should pick up the phone, call them. But these things get exacerbated. Nothing happens for years, and mistrust grows and grows. But these red flags, you should be aware of them and focus on them. Now, here's some of the types of estate fraud we see most often. Okay, forgery, falsifying wills, documents, and other estate planning documents. We see this all the time. This is the will's not signed, or even like checks. Somebody will be, writing checks for somebody, and those checks are forged. They're not the mother's checks, etc. Lots of that. Undue influence, and again, maybe there's a slight case of dementia or something like that, and people are taking advantage. Hey, Ma, why don't you give me the house? Hey, Ma, why don't you give me and things in the wills change, and you can see this when you lay them out. And sometimes it's because something improper was done. Misrepresentation, providing false information. Okay, this happens a lot too. The second, we see a lot of false asset transfers. Okay, for example, we had one of the beneficiaries moved in with his father, who was a pretty elderly gentleman, and he took his car, he signed it over to him, his bank accounts. He lived there rent-free, all kinds of crazy things. But basically, he looted the whole estate over a couple of years. So, and there was good indication that these were false transfers. They really didn't occur, or, again, maybe there was some type of dementia setting in. Beneficiary designation manipulation all the time, right? Hey, Ma, why don't you give me the business? Or, hey, Dad, give me the truck. That happens a lot. Unauthorized joint accounts. Hey, Dad, you're getting a little old. Let's put all the money in an account together. Yeah, sure. So they're managing the account. Meanwhile, most of the money coming out of the account is used for their personal expenses, not the father or the mother's. The third one is fraud by executors, trustees, and administrators. And again, lots of misappropriation of asset funds. We've talked a little bit about that. Failing to disclose assets. Excessive fees. We had one estate where, let's say, it was worth $10 million. The executor fees was they charged $3 million. Of course, it didn't stand up, but so these fees sometimes don't make sense. We've had cases where conflict of interest. We had a case where a very wealthy family, the mother was alive, and there was children throughout the United States. They would invite the mom down to their house, and she would never leave. They would basically keep her there, and she was not strong enough to say, hey, listen, I've been here for 6 months. I want to get the hell out of here. And eventually one of the other siblings would come and meet with her, take her out to lunch, and they would fly her to their house, and they would do the same thing. It was kind of sad. And when they're at the house, of course, they're spending money on the family, buying cars, and basically, depleting all the assets. So you do see some things like that. It's kind of like they were kidnapping. Other times you'll see, like I said, them move into a house with the mom and dad and deplete all the assets. So there's lots of things that can happen. Now those are the main types, but there's lots of other types of fraud we've worked on. Fraudulent claims against the estate. They don't exist. They make them. Fraudulent wills and trust. Obviously, we've seen that. Digital fraud. This can be done a lot of ways. Saying, hey, they transferred $400,000 from their account to my account, but they really didn't do it. Elderly abuse. Again, this is sad, but with that one case where they were kind of kidnapping the mom. That was a real complex case we were involved in for many years. Fraud by beneficiaries, no surprise. Collusion between parties. A lot of times, siblings would gang up on another sibling. So anyway, guys, listen, hopefully you appreciate this. If you have any questions, email me or leave a message below. Me or one of my associates will get back